Hey everybody, how's it going? To my left, you have Ducky the Duck. On my lap, you have Blackberry the Cat. Now that the introductions are done, we can move on to the video. Blackberry is allowed to sit on my lap as long as she does not nuzzle the microphone, causing noise. Good girl, Blackberry. So, this here is Blackberry. This here is an article that says Apple lobbies against right to repair bill over privacy concerns of third-party repair shops accessing user data. Blackberry. Apple, HP, and Honeywell are lobbying against a bill in the Nevada State House that would require electronic hardware manufacturers to provide device schematics, device parts, and instructions to third-party repair shops for device repairs, according to the Associated Press. Cameron Dmitry, the regional executive director of TechNet, a trading group representing Apple, HP, and Honeywell, says that his clients are concerned about the potential exposure that third-party repair shops will have to personal users' data while repairing devices. It says here that having access to personal information stored in consumer electronics by unvetted third parties is worrisome. He said the bill had the potential for troubling unintended consequences, including serious adverse security, privacy, and safety risks. I just wanted to go over why this is a complete and utter steaming pile of garbage. First of all, when you provide a device to me, you don't have to give me the password to the device. So if you give me a phone and you want to replace the screen on that phone, you can not give me the password to the phone, and then I have no access to your data. Many modern devices, most of them, are encrypted, so I need the password to get into the phone. If you don't give me the password, I can't get your data. And you can ask me to replace your charging port, your headphone jack, your screen, your earpiece, and not give me the password. Now, many repair shops will ask for the password for the customer's convenience. So if you're dropping something off and you say, I'll be back in an hour, we want everything to work when you come back in an hour, and we want the ability to test that. So if you come back to the store and we hand you back the phone and you go, great, now it charges, but the earpiece is kind of low. Now we have to open it again, and that can be a pain in the ass. So just to be able to test all the functions, like, the buttons work, the front and rear camera work, all of the features of everything work, sometimes we'll ask for the passcode. However, it is up to you to choose whether or not you wish to provide the passcode. And we're more than capable of providing all the repairs we do without you providing a passcode. If we're talking about a laptop computer. In the case of Apple, on their new machines, everything is encrypted. So if you don't give me the password, I have no access to your data. And on older machines or devices that are not made by Apple, the drive is usually removable. So if you don't want me to have access to your data, you can request that I remove the drive and hand it to you in front of you so that you can take the drive home, and then I work on the computer. I fix the screen or the motherboard or the speakers or whatever, and then when you come back, we put the drive in for you so that we don't have any access to your data. This is an asinine argument, and this is something that I went over when the CTA lobbyists were giving BS answers to the senators in Washington. So this gentleman over here that works for CTA was saying that we are going to install TikTok on people's phones. Imagine if we install TikTok on people's phones. There is no financial incentive whatsoever or customer satisfaction incentive for me to install random applications on my customer's phone. I do that, I'm out of business immediately. They're going to say, what the hell is this crap? And leave me a 1-star and nobody will show up. But further, in order to install an application on a customer's device, I need their password. And you do not have to provide me the password in order for me to do most repairs. So this is just a ridiculous point. Secondly, the idea that right to repair would actually change this is ridiculous. Again, whether or not right to repair exists, I will still work on these devices. I will still try to work on these devices. I may not be as capable of doing the repairs. I may have to dig through more dumpsters to do the repairs. I may have to wait 2 to 4 years after a device comes out and someone's cracked into the supply chain in order for me to be able to buy the chips I need. But I'm still going to work on them. So it's anybody saying if independent people work on devices, then we're worried about privacy concerns. What you really should be arguing for there is to shut down third-party repair entirely. They should be, if they truly believe that it is a genuine privacy concern when third parties work on people's devices, what they should be doing is going all the way with that argument and advocating at the state level that the Department of Consumer Affairs stop allowing third-party repair shops to be in business. But they're not going to do that because they understand this is a ridiculous argument. Thirdly, the whole concept of people breaking into your device and taking your data and stealing it. There's not a special type of human that works at the Apple Store, that works at HP, that doesn't work in independent repair shops. It's not like there's a special different species, different brands of human, different evolved creature that doesn't do these things at authorized repair, but does at unauthorized repair. And this is very clear in this old story. An Apple Store employee helped a customer by texting himself an intimate photo from her phone. This is less than 2 years old. This is something that happens. Here's the thing. Probably 1 in every 100,000 or 1 in every million people, probably less than that, but I like to think it's somewhere around there. Probably every 1 in 100,000 people is going to be the type of sick creep that's able to mask themselves and pretend that they are a totally normal human being that respects people's privacy, that respects boundaries, that's well adjusted to society, that when you actually give them access to a device, will do creepy shit with it. Like that's reality. There's weird people out there, there's crazy people out there, and they exist in authorized repair and they exist in unauthorized repair. And that's just, it's the way of the world. It sucks, but it is what it is. And I would not advocate that the Genius Bar be shut down because in all these years, they had one case of a creep texting himself pictures off of some hot girl's phone. That's not something I would advocate for. I don't like the Genius Bar. I don't think the Genius Bar does a good job. I think they screw over people on a regular basis. But again, if they want to be in business and they want to provide repair services, they should be able to provide repair services. I'm not going to try to shut them down because there was a front page article in the Washington Post about how someone who worked at an Apple store was texting themselves raunchy pictures from a customer's phone. Because I'm not going to say that because we have, one car accident, take every car off the road. Because one repair person is a creep, nobody should be able to repair. At the end of the day, the argument here is about freedom. Do you want to only have one choice for who fixes your device, or do you want to be able to have multiple choices for who fixes your device? It's about freedom. I advocate for freedom. Our freedom to have the ability to work on these devices, your freedom to be able to fix your own device if you so choose to, and your freedom to go to the manufacturer if you wish to go to the manufacturer. Again, I don't like them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to advocate that they should not be able to do repairs. At the end of the day, the argument should be about freedom. The next thing that drives me absolutely up a wall over here is where it says, in a bid to ease the pressure, in 2019, Apple introduced its independent repair provider program, which provides repair shops with direct access to device parts, tools, manuals, and diagnostic information for out-of-warranty devices. The program initially started in the United States and Canada, but yesterday Apple announced it would be expanding the program internationally. I went over this program in detail. I've spoken to many people who actually got into this program, who were able to go through all the hurdles that I described in this video. And I described throughout this video why this program is such an absolute dumpster fire program. In many ways, this program does not give you access to many of the things that are basic that would allow you to do your job. Again, you can't buy a charge port to an iPhone 7. You can't buy an earpiece. You can't buy chipsets. You can't get access to schematics or diagrams. This program is in many, many ways very, very useless if you actually want to repair customer devices in an economically viable way. And above all, it doesn't give you access to most of the parts, chips, schematics, or diagrams that I'm actually asking for that would allow me to do my job. It is a program that is being put in place so that it can look like Apple cares about this issue and is taking it seriously when they clearly are not. The last point of the article that drove me absolutely up a wall, and I think had to be included there just to troll me, is where it said, the significant expansion of the program opens the door for thousands of repair shops to obtain direct resources to Apple instead of relying on other providers, which can sometimes provide non-genuine parts or incorrect device information. So the third parties that are providing all the incorrect device information. So when I talk here about why the authorized option is very bad, I try to do so based on facts. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not pulling it out of my ass. It's based on reality. And, somebody challenged me 4 years ago. They said, you have to be making this up. So what I decided to do is I called a bunch of authorized service providers. This here is a 48-minute video where I call authorized service providers and I ask them questions. And then I call unauthorized service providers and ask them questions. One of my favorite parts of this call was when the authorized service provider didn't even know that the charge port is on a $5 flex cable and not hard soldered onto the motherboard. So they were advocating for an entire device replacement and total loss of data over a replacement charge port and headphone flex when it could have just been a 10-minute replacement of a $5 part.
No, unfortunately not. The headphone jack is basically hard soldered directly into the logic port.
Okay, so you're saying that on the iPhone 6 the headphone jack is hard soldered. It's soldered directly on the motherboard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not on a separate cable that then connects to the motherboard.
I don't believe so. No.
Oh,
It's not.
interesting.
It's not one
No,
of the
because
parts that
I
supply to
probably
me.
read something wrong online because I read some silly do-it-yourself.
There are few places where you will get more incorrect device information than the actual manufacturer's authorized repair staff. And this is something that anybody that has worked in independent repair, that deals with customers and speaks to customers and hears the crap that they get when they go to the authorized dealer or the manufacturer, you understand what I'm talking about. They'll say, this is broken or that's broken or this, that, and the other. And then you open it and it's like, this is unplugged. This is something that happens routinely. And it is something that is very easy to demonstrate by just doing what I did on this video. Call the authorized repair dealer, call the unauthorized repair dealer, and you'll see where you get more incorrect information on a regular basis. It's easy, it's repeatable, it's something that you can demonstrate simply by calling them. Don't take my word for it. I am biased. Do it yourself. And this article is just clearly something that was just, come up. It's a script reading lobbyist, and that's the thing that frustrates me more than anything else. It's not about lobbyists themselves being bad. It's not like just that lobbyists themselves are horrible in every case. It's the script reading lobbyists that don't understand what they're talking about, that don't even believe the paper or the scripts that they're reading off of. That bothers me in particular. I was going over, you can search my channel. There's lots of TechNet lobbying here. This is one of them from 2019. But this is just another case of someone probably reading off of a script that doesn't even understand the basics of it. And they don't care. What they want to do is they want to confuse the legislatures. And at the end of the day, what's really important, what you could do to help in any of these cases, is if you are in Nevada, speak with your local representative. Call them, email them, if possible, show up, and explain why this is not true. Hey, if I don't want someone to have access to my data, I don't give them the passcode when they repair the device, and it's totally fine. That's true without a right to repair bill. That's true with a right to repair bill. A right to repair bill does not change whether or not repair shops are going to be able to invade my privacy. And at the end of the day, it's up to you to choose where you want to bring your device. It's your choice. It's your freedom. Again, if Apple wishes to hire people that that go through raunchy photos and devices and send them to people, listen, mistakes are going to happen. But we're not going to remove freedom for large groups of people because one jackass did something stupid. That's just not the way this should work. Also, obviously, something that I got to mention in every single one of these videos now is that I am doing a fundraiser for a direct ballot initiative in the state of Massachusetts for right to repair. I found the firm that is responsible for automotive right to repair passing in Massachusetts. They did a direct ballot initiative. That means that rather than dealing with politicians and having to correct things that lobbyists say back and forth, you actually just get to deal with people. And if you can get people to vote yes on right to repair, it passes without having to deal with politicians. I talked about what would be required to get this done in this video from March 4th, and then I decided to do a fundraiser for it here. This is something that the firm that got right to repair passed in Massachusetts for automotive, they spent about $25 million getting that passed. They said for me to do this, it'd probably be somewhere in the $5 to $20 million range. So I have started a fundraiser here, and holy moly, in a day it raised $169K, so we are getting somewhere. There's another person that emailed me about pledging $100,000 in a single donation that I'm going to be getting back to. So over the next few months, I am really going to be focused on doing everything in my power to get as many people aware of this as humanly possible so that I can get close to that goal, so that I have a chance of doing a direct ballot initiative. You can, again, if you want to listen to the details or me talk about it, you can go through this video over here that I made about a month ago. I will link it down below. And this is something that actually has a good chance of getting through. The thing, at the end of the day, I believe that if I can actually get on the ballot in a state like Massachusetts and I can make my case to people, not politicians, that this will pass, that we will win, that I can make the case to someone that your privacy is not going to be completely destroyed because you allow a repair shop to work on your part. And if you do not want a certain shop to work on your stuff, you have the choice to not have them work on your stuff. But what I'm advocating for is that you have the choice. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.